Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell. You'll get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And when I'm not asking Bruce, hey, how big was Batista's? Well, you know. One of the things I like to do is help people save money. And if you're watching this video right now and you're in a 30-year loan, man, you're overpaying your single biggest bill and you may not even realize it. I want you to do a little experiment for me. Take your calculator out, multiply your monthly house payment by 360 payments. That's how many payments there are in a 30-year loan. That big scary number, that's your total of payments. You're looking at that number? You know you can do better. Keep more of your own money right now and go to savewithconrad.com. Or maybe you've got credit card debt. Man, it's not a matter of if I can save you money with that. Your average interest rate on a credit card is more than 20%. And by the way, all the interest you pay on those credit cards, it's not tax deductible. Whereas the mortgage interest, well, that is tax deductible. So if you owe this debt, it's up to you how to pay it back. Doesn't it make sense to get the cheapest rate possible and the greatest tax deduction possible? Find out how much money you can save right now for free at savewithconrad.com. You don't need perfect credit. Even scores in the 500s can be approved, and it's no cost out of pocket. But maybe best of all, we're licensed in more than 40 states. We can help more families than ever before. But how much can we save you? Find out right now for free with a quick quote from savewithconrad.com.
What happened when?
WHW Monday. And now, let's go to the ring. And here's your co-host. Hey, it's Conrad Thompson.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson, and you're listening to What Happened When? With the voice of your childhood, Tony Schiavone. Tony, what's going on, man? How are you?
Hey, man. Conrad, how you doing?
Man, better than I deserve. And yourself?
I'm doing great. I think based on what has happened over the past week or so, I think it's a great time to be a wrestling fan, and I think it's even better time to be out and about. I feel good now. I think everybody's starting to feel good. And I'm not talking necessarily physically. I'm talking about mentally, about our direction that we're in, and I hope it continues.
Man, I'm on fire after such a great weekend of wrestling fans. I think the MVP of your weekend was the crowd, and it was so cool to see them back, and it just made everything more exciting. And I'm ready for more, man. It's gonna be a fun summer.
It's going to be a great summer. We've got a lot of things going on. We made the big announcement, and I think we need to talk about it here about our low-key Big Hog weekend. And that's exciting to be able to go back to Chicago. AEW is going to have the next pay-per-view after that, Full Gear in St. Louis. We've got going to go back. AEW is going to go back on the road beginning July 7th when we go to Miami, down at the Knight Center, the great Knight Center, home of the second Clash of the Champions. Tony Khan announced that, and I guess you and I have talked about this before, but Tony Khan announced that we're moving to TBS and going to have a second show. And I know this is all AEW related, so if you're not a fan of AEW, bear with me here for a second. And the fact that we're going to have 4 specials on TNT beginning in 2022, kind of like the old Clash of the Champions. Got to meet Leo Rush for the first time, and Mark Henry. How about that? That was a big announcement, wasn't it?
A huge announcement. I mean, Obviously he's a regular over on Busted Open, but certainly a WWE Hall of Famer, made his own mark. And I grew a little curious as he kept posting pictures of him slimming down, and all of a sudden Tony Khan and everyone else from AEW was all over Busted Open. I thought,
yeah.
But I have to admit, I sort of outsmarted myself. I just assumed when I saw that wild card or Joker in the big battle royal, I was like, well, that's the Mark Henry spot. And it turned out to be Leo Rush.
I know.
How about that? Double success.
That was a big surprise. A lot of those things are a surprise to me. And there's people out there, fans don't think that I'm in the know with everything, and I'm really not. I purposely try to not be, because I like to be surprised too.
Sure.
So what happened earlier in the day was, or actually on Friday, I believe, maybe Friday or Saturday, one of the 2 days, it may have been Saturday, that I'm walking backstage, and in a room I hear LaGreca's voice. And I went, shit, LaGreca's here. So I went in, and
we're being overtaken by the goons, by the goofs.
Yeah. So I went in and I said, hey, Dave. Oh, it was Saturday. I talked to him because I told him, I said, hey, Dave, I saw some signs talking about you in the crowd. He went, no, really? I said, you piece of shit. You always plant those signs. He said, no. I said, yes, you do. I said, good work. So then I saw him. And then on Sunday, I see Mark Henry. And Mark and I have met before, so we chatted and everything. And so I'm just thinking they're going to tape some stuff for Busted Open. And then Tony told me, that he is going to be with us and you're going to introduce him. And we had a 5-minute interview that we were going to do, which had to be cut because the show was running long. And he just walked out, as people saw. And we did our interview on Dynamite the following Friday. And it's funny, man, Mark is like, I said, I went to the trailer, talked to him. I said, Mark, Tony told me what he wants us to say. Do you know what we're going to talk about? He said, I always know what I'm going to talk about. I said, you got it, buddy. I said, here's how I'm going to set you up. He said, okay, I got it. Then when he walked out, he kind of did, he kind of pointed to his watch. He was telling me, wrap it the fuck up because we're short on time. I went, you got it, man. He's a great guy, but he's an intimidating figure, buddy.
He is a massive human being.
Yes, he is.
With big old hands and a big old head. And here's the deal. You just know when you meet Mark, you're like, what happens next is sort of up to him.
Yes, exactly.
Anything, if he says, hey, we're doing this, we're going to be like that dog in Christmas Vacation, Snots.
Yeah.
Right. It's better if you just let him finish. So it's like, you know what? We're just going to do what Mr. Henry says.
Right.
So, okay. Now that being said, he's still a cheater and he still had the fix. Him and LaGreca, they conspired to screw me out of the chair dance competition last year.
Oh.
But, that's another story for another day. While we're here, by the way, it's not to talk about AEW or chair dance competitions or conspiracies or Mark Henry or that nothing happened in Al Del Greco. We're here to talk about June 7th, 1986. Tony, we're about halfway through, baby, 1986, and I'm loving it. How about you?
Yeah, we are halfway through, and we're kind of getting closer to the biggest point of the entire year. Well, one of the biggest points. I guess you can point to Starrcade, but really the summertime was kind of like the feature of the entire year, and the summertime meant the Great American Bash. It meant the Rock and Roll Express Super Summer Sizzler Tour. And
Super Summer
Sizzler Tour. And it meant Magnum T.A. and Nikita Koloff Best of 7. So a lot of great things happened during the summertime. And so we are now heading towards that with a lot of good things.
So without further ado, we're going to recommend that you, look in the comments. You going to make a noise here?
Make a noise? Do I have a noise?
Oh, no, we're not ribbing you. Like, if you want to watch along with us, watch or take a look at the comments.
Oh, there you go.
So if you're wanting to know where to watch, may I suggest the comments?
For those of you who can't read, have someone help you.
Or take a poop with your pants on. We're good either way.
Someone's going to get pissed off. Schiavone's making fun of people who can't read. Yes, I am.
Every now and again, I have a joke that I have to keep to myself. Today is one of those days.
Okay.
But Tony, this is a day like any other day where I feel like it's time for us to.
Hey, Big Daddy, you got to get excited about saving people money. Woo! Woo!
SaveWithConrad.com. Throw to a countdown. Do we have a special countdown today?
We always have something special for our countdown, and we're ready for this week. In 3, 2, 1, play.
We see the voiceover here. The sound is different. Look at that shot of Dusty. How many packages has that been in over the years?
The original song was Old Time Rock and Roll by Bob Seger that they played for Dusty.
And of course, here's Dusty coming to the ring with Baby Doll, but Dusty just stares down the camera does a little kiss.
Mhm.
And he's starting to wrestle while Baby Doll's still in the damn ring.
I want to get David Crockett's reaction here. Listen to this. See if we can track it. It's crazy.
With his robe decked out in all his splendor to wrestle the American Dream. Dusty Rhodes, we've got it right here. I didn't believe he'd do it. Lock the door, take the phone off the hook. Ooh. Hang on. Nail yourself down. This place is gonna rock. It's been rocking since we started. Oh, it's gonna rock some more. The World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. There's that championship. He gives it to the referee. He gave it to the referee, David. Oh, but
David was on fire, wasn't he?
I loved your lock the door and take the phone off the hook. Is that what you used to do when you were about to make a little Schiavone?
Yeah. No, we left the door open.
I'm gonna go lock the door.
No.
Take the phone off the hook. Don't worry, we won't miss any calls. We'll be done in about 5 minutes.
welcome to the best in professional wrestling, World Championship Wrestling. I tell you what, Tony, we've got an exciting program with the fans. You saw it right there. Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair, they're going to be wrestling. But we have the news. The U.S. title has been stripped from Magnum T.A.
David, we announced this morning and last week that we would have a 1-hour match for the U.S. heavyweight title right here today on television. But since that time, the NWA has stripped Magnum T.A. of the U.S. heavyweight title for actions. You know what happened in the press conference. You saw that last week. Nikita Koloff insulted the mother of Magnum T.A., and therefore Magnum jumps across the table, and they get into that. But as a result of that, a reprimand was issued by the NWA, and some other things happened after that. We're going to take a look at that today. So we won't have that match here today.
I know it's terrible, but listen, we've got Dusty Rhodes against Ric Flair, World Heavyweight Champion. That's going to be an exciting match.
We also have our Great American Bash 86 update, information on the Rock and Roll Express Super Summer Sizzler Tour. We saw Dusty Rhodes and Ric Flair getting ready to do battle. We will see that today, but also we'll talk about and see the return of the fourth horseman. We're talking about Ole Anderson.
That's right. Ole Anderson is back. The four horsemen, they're on the roll again.
Let's bring in right now to speak with us here on World Championship Wrestling, the man with the hands of stone, Ron Garber.
Proud to be American. Come on.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. And I'm really looking forward to the Great American Bash throughout this country. The greatest month of July, probably in any sports. But the situation between Ronnie Garvin and Tully Blanchard. And I'm talking about it's got to be settled one way or the other. You see, the contract has been signed. Tape fists, 10 3-minute rounds with tape hands. Now let's quit talking about it. Let's show the world who the better man is, Tully Blanchard. The best way to do it is to settle it, like I say, 10 3-minute round, tape fists. And I'm going to tell you, the right hand, Tully Blanchard, is going to do you in. And that's a promise.
Rock Express out next. Of course, Ricky Morton still wearing the nose guard.
They had to do a little edit there because they, I think they just musically they had to do a little edit there. But one thing caught my attention there when we were talking about what was coming up.
Yeah,
I had mentioned quote unquote, we said this morning, and we said last week that Magnum and Nikita would wrestle. And it reminded me that we would tape a 2-hour show for that Saturday night, but we would tape a 1-hour show for the next Saturday morning, which was called Championship Wrestling. It would be Saturday mornings on TBS.
yeah.
So we would be a week ahead as we would tape, and we would tape that after we would do the 2-hour show. And I kind of wonder if it was one of those things where they came up with this idea to strip Magnum of the title kind of at the last minute, or maybe that was in the plans the entire time. It almost seems to me that it was a last minute thing that Dusty thought of. I don't know.
Are you telling me that there really wasn't a governing body that strip Magnum? It was just Dusty deciding?
No. Yes, it was.
Oh.
As a matter of fact, do you remember how Magnum got stripped of the title? We're going to see it. We're going to see it here.
Well, I mean, was Geigle involved?
Yeah, he attacked Bob Geigle.
How dare he?
Mm-hmm. So there you go. Double drop kick.
Woo!
Woo!
Get down. There you see it.
Did that sound like a 5 count from Pee Wee?
It did. Watch out.
Do you think that impresses me? Do you think, hey, they're fixed to have to give a telethon for the Rock and Roll Express if they look any worse. And let me say one more thing. Big Bubba, no trouble. You see Bubba Rogers taking real good care of me. The James gang has been nowhere in sight trying to put their hands on my body since Bubba Rogers got here. And James gang, the masquerade is going to be over real soon. I'm going to get my mother's bounty paid off to the Midnight Express for taking those masks off and showing just everybody just exactly who you are, getting you out of wrestling. And Baby Doll, man, let me tell you something. Baby Doll, you are in a delusion. You are living in a world of fantasy. You have challenged me to put my tights on against a woman, Tony? Against a big woman, but a woman. Let me tell you, Baby Doll, no woman can beat a man in a wrestling match. I know, especially the manager of the World Tag Team Champions, that I didn't get here by being a dummy and by letting goofs like you take advantage of me. You know, she's got the services of Dusty Rhodes of Magnum T.A. She's got the services of the Rock and Roll Express, the services of the Road Warriors. Who knows what kind of services are being rendered? But I'll tell you what, Baby Doll, you're going to get rendered if you try to get in that ring with me. I can promise you that for a fact, darling. Come on, Bubba. Let's go home.
Jim Cornette and Big Bubba Rogers back with a world champion right after this.
How about those fans chanting Bubba, Bubba?
I know. How about they just...
He was over right away. That whole Blues Brothers look was doing it.
Yes, it was. It was cool, man. It was very well done.
Speaking of cool.
Walked out the world champion Ric Flair.
Time. Let's have some equal time out here. This, ladies and gentlemen, whether you like it or not, is what Ric Flair has done to the world of professional sports. Now, if 20 young men can take time out of their life to go out and spend some money on nice clothes and come all the way down here to Atlanta, Georgia, then you know there's got to be 20 million of them all over the country doing it. So, girls, all you out there that are hard-pressed to take off your cowboy boots and blue jeans, remember that one day in your life, you might have the good fortune of walking arm in arm, hand in hand, or in back of Slick Rick. Because I am the world champion. Now, Dusty Rhodes. Today is Dusty Rhodes Day. We've been out here week in and week out, and I'm talking about the Four Horsemen. Tully Blanchard, the national heavyweight champion. Arn Anderson, the world television champion. Ric Flair, woo, if you may, the world heavyweight champion. And now, right here today, the return of Ole Anderson, the Fourth Horseman. And what I'm telling you, whether you like it or not, it's today right here, you're going to see Dusty Rhodes get beat up real bad. And you know why? Because week in and week out, the Dream has walked out here and he's threatened us. He's told us what he's going to do. And now, Dusty Rhodes, you're in it again, Daddy. You're the center of attention. You're the focal point. And Big Dust, you're going to pay the price. Now, Ric Flair, 14 great American bashes around the country. 14. And the world champion is going to wrestle the 14 top contenders in the world today. I'm talking about Philadelphia. I'm talking about Memphis. I'm talking about RFK. I'm talking about DC, Charlotte. I'm talking about the Great American Bash. And for anybody out there that doesn't know what big time sports is all about, you buy yourself a ticket, because there's not a football game, basketball game, soccer game. There's nothing can follow the National Wrestling Alliance, especially especially when Ric Flair's name is on the top of the marquee. So Dusty Rhodes, Ricky Morton. You understand? Wahoo McDaniel, Ronnie Garvin, Nikita Koloff, Road Warrior Hawk and Animal. My last words to you are, grab your best hold. Tony, check out that Rolex, Daddy. I got things to do. Woo!
The heavyweight champion of the world, Nature Boy Ric Flair. Let's go back to the ring.
He was on a roll today.
The fans are really responding. Those guys are dressed up, helping things. But I'm just wondering if maybe the fans are louder. Maybe we're tracking the fans even more because they sound loud and explosive.
I think it's those dudes. You know, lately
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of kids in the crowd.
Yeah.
And today it's, you know, a handful of dressed up dudes.
Right.
What'd you think when you showed up to TV that day and you see all these kids in the front row, suited and booted?
I thought it was pretty fucking cool.
It is cool.
Yeah. And also it's kind of like the sign era before the sign era. I mean, you know, there was a lot of signs in there, and I loved it. We would a couple of things would happen. I don't think I've ever shared this with you. Maybe I have. David and I would go out, and David would do the talking, and we would walk around the front side of the ring, and David would tell the fans who would be coming up, so they would know.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I would stand there with him, say a few things, but mostly David always did that. All studio shows. I can remember as a fan going to a studio show, and this is back when I was trying to get a job with him, working for Francis. They taped at, I think, Channel 36 in Charlotte, and David would go out and he would have his format with him, and he would tell the fans just who's coming up. And then after you do that, Tommy Edwards, who was our director, would get on the PA and talk to the fans. He'd go, "Hey, how y'all doing?" Tommy always had that real cool, like, to me, like Barry White voice.
Oh, San Antonio.
They got a date with destiny, Daddy. And I'm talking about Paul Jones and his army. You don't need to go to the beauty salon because you got an appointment with me and the boogeyman. And when we get through with you this summer, you don't need no air conditioning because your head's going to be so bald, the breeze is going to go right over the top of it. I promise you one thing, Paul Jones. You're going to bring it on, Daddy, because me and the boogeyman are going to dance all night long all over you and your army. Ain't nobody does it better than the bull and the boogeyman. Come on in here, baby.
Willie! Boogie Woogie loves you to death, baby. You are my brother, Tony Schiavone. First of all, I want to say something about the loaded black glove. When I climb that high pole and come down with the loaded black glove, Baron Von Roscoe, I'm gonna beat your brains out with your own black glove. Now, a few months ago, Pistol Pez Watley and Paul Jones took something that belonged to the boogeyman. He took something from my person. He took some hair that I've been growing for 10 years, Tony. And right now, what I want people all over the world to see, I'm talking about millions of people, to look right now. Show it, people. That right there is what a bald-headed geek is going to be.
It's a Photoshop of him bald.
And Paul Jones, yeah.
Gospel, baby, you will be bald. A geek. All right.
Okay. We're coming right back, fans. Don't go away.
All right. That was not a good promo. Manny didn't say San Antonio one time.
I think San Antonio already happened. I think.
I'm not talking about the show. He was always just shouting out his hometown. He's looking to pick up drive-through. Something.
For the fans, we have the match between the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and the World Heavyweight Champion, Ric Flair. Let's go to it right now. Okay.
Look at my face, man. I look the way I do now. Fucking mean.
This is the whole thing we just watched.
Yeah.
Dusty and Baby Doll coming out.
Yeah, and you know, I'm there holding the microphone. You know what I'm thinking here in 2021?
What are you thinking?
God damn, I was a lucky guy.
Oh yeah,
I really was.
you're having fun.
Yeah, and to be a part of this era, to be able to, I mean, I don't, you can't.
It was special.
Yeah, I don't know. They use the term, they throw it around a lot, the golden era of wrestling. I don't know if this was or not. I don't know what the golden era of wrestling was. I mean, you could say it was the Monday Night Wars. You could say it was the 80s with Hulkamania and the rise of the NWA. You can even go back before then if you want, talk about the territories. But this was a special era, and I was part of it. So it's never lost on me. And for us to come back and look at this stuff again, it always reaffirms the fact that, God damn, I was lucky. Just a little redneck from Virginia who loved wrestling and was able to get in and be a part of it, you know?
It's really cool. Like,
Yeah, it
that's
is.
a great perspective about it too.
Yeah. It just, it's not
And
lost on me.
what's really fun too is, you're able to look back with the benefit of hindsight and have that appreciation, but also too be committed to, now that I'm back in it, I'm not gonna like try real hard. Let's just do what we've been doing. Let's continue to. My legacy is just half-assing. Let's not disappoint people. Let's just set really low expectations and make sure that we meet them.
Boy, that went into a terrible direction, but of course that's you and
Nah,
your
dude.
bullshit.
I'm so happy that you're back.
Yeah.
Me and you talked about it off air, but
Yeah.
it was a cool little thing where you went and hugged Britt Baker because
Yeah.
you've been such a big part of her character, and me being a big Tony Schiavone fan, I was just happy that I don't know, it's really cool, man. So I'm glad you guys are having fun.
Yeah, we really are. And I'm trying to, I know how my mind works. I mean, uh, I really think that, and this is a good match. I don't want to be talking about me the entire time, but
Sure,
I know, I know how my mind works, and I know that I'm very good at shutting things out and moving on. So in 2001, I shut out wrestling, not because I was pissed off, not because I quote unquote hated it, because a lot of it I was burnt out, but a lot of it is I wanted to recreate myself,
right.
reinvent myself, and move on. And I was able to do that. And it's not that I hated wrestling, but I said, okay, that part of my life is gone. We're going to go do this. I'm going to do baseball, which is what I've always wanted to do, even before wrestling. Got to do it. I really did. I got to do some major league games. So, my God, how lucky is that? And so now that I'm back in it, and you and I get to relive this stuff, it brings back the great memories that I have that I had shut out. Look at Dusty, man. He could.
Based on the look of the building, what town are they in right here?
Oh,
That's Spartanburg.
yeah. There you go. You see that wide shot with those columns in the back?
Yeah.
That's Spartanburg.
So this would have been filmed at the Memorial Auditorium
Yeah.
on June 3rd, 1986.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. The Spartanburg always had the real low ceiling.
Yeah.
Great place for us. That's where they took Jimmy Cornette out back and, put a rope around his neck, and Baby Doll almost broke his neck. She's a woman. She's a big woman.
Oh,
but
God.
she's a woman. That's what Cornette said.
He would always be yelling about that fat hog. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, God.
I know. And she was a big girl, but she wasn't fat.
No.
She was just a big girl, man.
How about this? Never mind. I almost said something awful.
Okay, well,
Gotta be careful what you say these days.
I thought she was,
Roll Tide. Roll Tide.
I thought she was Roll Tide. Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't know why in the hell I was coaxed into saying that one. But
let's run through some business if we shall. This
Okay.
is all out of Jim Cornette's book, which, by the way, I highly recommend if you have an opportunity to pick that up. June 1st, Charleston, West Virginia, 2 p.m. show, 44 grand at the gate. That night, 8p, Greensboro at 61 grand. The next day, Greenup, Kentucky, $14,000 house.
Greenup.
TV tapings here in Spartanburg. They taped 2 shows. Raleigh, North Carolina, $11,600 on the 4th. The 5th, they're in Columbus, Georgia, $18,000. Norfolk, Virginia gets a show on the 6th, $35,000. Of course, they're doing TV tapings here on June 7th. That night, they're going to be in Roanoke, Virginia, and they'll get $26,000. Then they'll scoot over to Asheville, North Carolina for a 2 p.m. show, a matinee show, $16,000 there. They'll be at the Omni at 8 p.m. and draw $51,000. Back to Greenville, South Carolina for $24,000. Then Salisbury, North Carolina, $18,000. Mission, Texas on the 11th. That'll be $28,400. That's a sellout. On the 12th, they're in San Antonio. They're off on the 13th and then back taping on the 14th with an 8 p.m. show that night in Baltimore for $55,000. So that's sort of what's going on with the houses and the tour for Jim Crockett Promotions. And it's breaking down now. Arn Anderson's in the ring. Tully Blanchard's in the ring. And here comes Ole.
Yes, sir.
Out of nowhere, Ole Anderson in his shirt and blue jeans and David the Four Horsemen are back together.
J.J. Dillon comes in too. But the Four Horsemen start to pound away on Ric Flair. They take him. Ole goes up. Goes up on that top. They have him. They drop him on his head. Magnum comes in.
I love David, but he ruined this.
Yeah, he did.
Dusty Rhodes come in. There you see Ole Anderson with R. Tully and JJ and Ric Flair.
Yeah. What we did wrong was we commentated from there.
Yes.
Instead of being there and doing it.
This man right here is going to be smiling when he comes in.
What did I tell you?
Oh, I want to see Ole, man.
It's based on one fact and one fact only. When we tell you something's going to happen, it happens. And Dusty Rhodes, you find yourself in an unenviable position. You were on the rebuttal end of what you and the Road Warriors did to The Rock. Well, The Rock's back, Daddy. 4 horsemen, not 3, 4 horsemen. And when we start choosing sides, Rhodes, just remember one thing. Magnum's felt the horrification. Ronnie Garvin's felt it. Sam Houston's felt it. You felt it. You've all been hurt because you want to get in bed with the big dogs. So now, recap it and start asking Dusty Rhodes, how many friends do I really have when they got to sit there and think, hey, maybe the 4 horsemen going to get me getting out of my car, maybe get me at the bar. We will jump you anywhere, anytime. And The Rock has a few words for you right now, Dusty Rhodes. Roll the tape.
Let's take a look and listen.
I was there. I thought I was there.
I heard somebody audition. Maybe our eyes deceive us. Maybe it's somebody that just looks like Anderson. Maybe our TV is messed up. Maybe a pig can fly. Maybe. There ain't no maybes about it, David Crockett. You're looking at the 4 horsemen. We're back together. Rhodes, you make the biggest mistake of your life by even staying in wrestling. You should have got out. You got 2 chances now. One is to stay out. The other is to get yourself crippled so bad that even your papa the plumber ain't going to know you when we get done rearranging your pipes. You take a look at all the people that have tried to help Dusty Rhodes. What's the name? The Rock and Roll Express. Well, here, we got a nose on the other end of this one. We take care of you, Ricky. We go to Robert, and we go to the most important man, the American dream, the one that everybody believes the sun rises and sets on. Did you really think that you were going to get rid of the Horsemen? Did you really think that Ole Anderson was going to go off to the sawmill and sit for the rest of his life? I tell you this, Rhodes, there's no way that it's going to be over. I know it now. No way it's going to be over until one of us. And right now, you're looking at the burial team. You're looking at the team that's got the shovels. We got the plot of ground out there, and you might as well realize it, and everybody in the world better realize it. This ain't no joke. This ain't no funnin'. This ain't no April Fools. I'm as serious as I can be. We're going to get rid of Dusty Rhodes. You bank on it. You go down. You can bet on it. I don't care who helps him. I don't care where. I don't know when. All I know is going to be done. And right now, we're going to do a little celebrating because the 4 horsemen are back in business.
The 4 horsemen! Yes!
Yes! I thought I was next. Ha!
Serious words right there from Ole Anderson.
Well, all I heard in every arena across this country was, I'm next. Well, Dusty Rhodes, I don't want to say I told you so, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but toot, toot.
Back, and we'll talk about the U.S. heavyweight title right after this.
Such an iconic moment, what we just saw. Not only the toot toot promo, but Ole's promo had been played everywhere. And then JJ, yes, it's so good, dude.
And I think it was because of the Russians, they set Magnum up. Magnum T.A. was stripped the United States heavyweight title. It's a shame it happened. I think a lot of it had to do with Nikita, especially they set him up with that press conference where Nikita insulted Magnum's mother. And, Magnum just would not take that because Magnum's mother is such a part of his life.
That's right.
She's the driving force behind him. Well, Magnum went after Nikita, went over the table, and you know what happened there. Then tell him.
Well, then Bob Geigle had a rebuttal, had a reprimand he read on behalf of the NWA. Let's go to that tape.
As a result of a recent press conference between the United States heavyweight champion Magnum T.A. and Nikita Koloff, the NWA President Bob Geigle and Magnum T.A. have been brought together for a very important announcement from the National Wrestling Alliance concerning the United States heavyweight champion.
The board of directors of the National Wrestling Alliance has reviewed an incident that took place at a press conference for contract signing between United States heavyweight champion Magnum T.A. and challenger Nikita Koloff. It is a majority opinion of the board of directors that the conduct of Magnum T.A., the United States title holder, was not in accordance with the standard of conduct that the National Wrestling Alliance would expect from a champion. Although it has been noted that there was some strong language on the part of Nikita Koloff, the challenger. There will be no fine. There will be no suspension. But for the record, let it be noted that this is an official reprimand for the United States champion Magnum T.A. for conduct unbecoming a champion.
Well, just wait a minute now. You forget about the U.S. Heavyweight Championship. Forget about the whole NWA. This is my mom here. This is family. That's different. That's got to deserve some kind of other consideration. What would you have done if it had been your mom out there? Tell me that.
The United States champion is expected to keep himself in good conduct at all times. Let that be noted. We'll reprimand this.
Well, there, David. Magnum T.A., who has a strong belief in his family, his mother, the country, and everything, really struck the blow against President Bob Geigle. As a result of that, Bob Geigle made this all-important announcement.
As president of the National Wrestling Alliance, it is my duty to make the following announcement. Magnum T.A. received an official reprimand from the National Wrestling Alliance for his conduct at a press conference. At the time of his notification of that decision, his actions taken against an official representative of the National Wrestling Alliance leave the board of directors no other option but to strip Magnum T.A. of the United States Heavyweight Championship title for conduct unbecoming a champion, effective immediately.
Okay, there it happened.
It's not right, but it did happen. The United States heavyweight title is stripped from Magnum T.A.
It really is. It's been stripped from Magnum T.A., but as a result of that, we have a very special announcement about that.
That's right. Coming up next.
Dude, this is like a loaded show. There's so
Yeah,
much.
man. That is.
A lot of moving parts. And we're back with the Russians. What do you think?
Well, I think that we're going to announce the best of 7 here.
And again, we talk and try and figure out how Magnum T.A. going to get out this title match on TV. So Nikita, no embarrass him in front of all the world.
All the world.
Him on TV. Well, this is smart, Magnum T.A. This is smart. You come out and again attack someone. Yes, that's right. Nephew Nikita is the United States heavyweight champion, Magnum T.A.
Excuse me, Mr. Koloff. I hate to interrupt, but Nikita Koloff is not the U.S. heavyweight champion. All of us on the board of directors did not agree with the majority, but they did take the title away from Magnum T.A. for his actions. They have ordered a best of 7 championship series between the #1 challenger, who is Nikita Koloff, and the former champion Magnum T.A. And if Nikita can defeat Magnum 4 times, then he will be the U.S. Heavyweight Champion. And it will start July the 1st in Philadelphia.
It is obviously a conspiracy. This Magnum T.A. has not only got Jim Crockett Promotions behind him, but the NWA. Well, we don't accept this. Nephew Nikita is the United States Heavyweight Champion, and being he is such a gracious champion, he will give Magnum T.A. a couple of title shots during the Great American Bash. And you, Dusty Rhodes, the Great American Dream, along with your Road Warriors, during the Great American Bash, we're going to win back our World Six-Man Tag Team Trophy because Crusher Khrushchev is ready. Cage matches, double chain matches, six-man tag team competition. And you, Ric Flair, nephew Nikita, is going to take world title away from me.
Well, fans, you heard it from Mr. Jim Crockett Jr., president of Jim Crockett Promotions, the best 4 of 7 series for the U.S. heavyweight title. Let's go to the ring.
And by the way, George South and Randy Mulkey going to be in here with Tully and Arn.
Mm-hmm.
Man, this is just this might be peak 86 right here.
I think so. A big announcement because a lot of people still remember that best of 7.
Oh yeah, we still get questions about it.
Right. So it's going to start July 1st, Great American Bash, Nikita and Magnum. And so we got that. We got the Rock and Roll Express, Super Summer Sizzler Tour. We got the return of Ole Anderson. And as I'm listening to Ole talk, I'm telling you, I know it's old school Tony Schiavone. I don't care what anybody says. Everybody says, what was the best incarnation of the 4 Horsemen? It is still with Ole Anderson in it.
Yeah.
And it's because Ole could talk.
A lot of people prefer the Barry one, and I understand that from a match standpoint, but from a promo standpoint, no comparison.
Yeah.
No comparison.
Ole is not well now.
Right.
And that it really breaks my heart.
Ooh, big old spine buster from
man. I wanted to go see him, and obviously with COVID, I can't. So when this all finally gets resolved, I'm going to go see him. I did talk to him on the phone, and obviously he's just not well. And that breaks my heart. It really does.
But he meant a lot to your career.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. I was such a mark for him, and he was good to me, man. He was absolutely good to me. Look at this.
How about that for a little tag team combination?
Man.
What's the nature of your conversations with Richard?
As in Flair?
Yeah.
I don't talk to him anymore.
It's just funny. He said, man, he was such a big part of my life. And I just appreciate him so much. About Ole. And then Rick, I don't talk to him.
Well, I don't. I mean, look, he could pick up the phone and call me, couldn't he?
Yeah, sure. So I guess so could Ole.
Not really. Somebody would have to pick up the phone for him.
And you, apparently.
Party's going to last for a full month. It starts in Philadelphia, goes to Washington, D.C., Memphis. It just keeps on.
RFK Stadium, the Liberty Bowl. We already know Ric Flair will defend the NWA World Heavyweight title 14 times in a 30-day period. We also know now best 4 out of 7 for the U.S. Heavyweight title between Magnum T.A. and Nikita Koloff during the Bash. But, David, the performers will be great. And one of them is Waylon Jennings. He and Jesse Coulter will be highlighted in many of the cities performing during the Great American Bash. And Waylon Jennings is a fine performer, but we have lots more, too.
That's right. We have Joe Ely, Delbert McClinton. Also, George Jones will be there. David Allen
Coe, who was a big part of the Bash last year. The Great American Bash, the very best in family entertainment, and it's coming your way very soon. Like we said, July 1st, it all starts at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, and then it runs through the whole month of July, ending up on August 2nd at Fulton County Stadium. Like we said, let's talk to Waylon Jennings.
Wow.
Rocket Sports on location, Music City, USA, Nashville, Tennessee. And we're very happy to be talking with Waylon Jennings.
He's going to call me a big old boy here.
Nice to see you get dressed up.
Yeah, he'll call me a big old boy.
Wanted to talk about your album, Will the Wolf Survive? Tremendous success for you. Working Without a Net was certainly a big hit, and the title cut's a big hit also. Can you compare that to some of your other successful albums?
Not really, because it's a whole new thing for me. It's a much more musical album than I've ever done before. Most of my things were just straight ahead and with the romping beat.
Mm-hmm.
And and really very simple arrangements. And Jimmy Bowen produced this one, and Jimmy's a great producer. He's a lot of fun to work with, and he's really got it together. And this album, I think sound-wise, is so much better than everything I've done before because it was digital, and which is new for me.
Do you have a favorite cut off of that album?
Yeah, I like Wondering What You'll Do When I'm Gone, and Larry Butler wrote that song, and that's probably my favorite of all of them.
Okay, we were in Tucson, Arizona. As you know, the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes, and Willie Nelson, close personal friends, and you were part of Stagecoach. Great ratings for the movie. What did you think about the movie?
I thought it was good. You know, I thought we had a lot of fun doing it, and we're really happy with the numbers that it got. You know, number 5 for the whole week, I think, and number 1 the night it was on. So I can't complain, and I sure can't put it down.
Can you tell us anything about some new upcoming albums you have?
We have a couple ideas that we're kicking around, and I can't give them to because you know what? One of them wrestlers might beat you to the idea.
Okay. Coming up, the Great American Bash 86. Jim Crockett Promotions, very happy to have you and your better half, as you call her, Jessie Coulter, with us in the Great American Bash. I'm sure you're excited about being a part of the Great American Bash.
Yeah, me and Jessie are going to wrestle each night. No, not really.
Okay.
No, we're looking forward to it, though, because, you know, a lot of the same people, in fact, they've tried this, you know, like mixing music with sports before. And, but they, you know, like basketball, that don't work.
No.
And baseball don't work. Mainly because trying to sing in a stadium, I think I played one time in Busch Stadium, and I think it's still echoing in there. But this will work, and because I think a lot of the same people who like country music like wrestling, you know, and the research that we've done, and we're going to have a good time. I guarantee you that.
We're in some of the biggest facilities in the country, the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville, Florida, the Liberty Bowl in Memphis, Tennessee. All the wrestlers like to wrestle in front of the large crowds, and I'm sure you feel the same way. The bigger the crowd, the better.
Really, yeah. It's terrible when you go out there and you outnumber the crowd. So I'm sure they're just like we are. You know, they'll put on a much better show and everything if you got a big crowd. And boy, those wrestling crowds are enthusiastic.
Boy, they really are.
They really are. And that's going to, I'll probably ride off of that for 6 months.
And you can better believe they're going to be enthusiastic. The Great American Bash. Waylon, once again, thank you very much for your time, and we really look forward to having you with us, the Great American Bash.
All right, we're going to do it. You don't wrestle, do you? You're a pretty big old boy yourself.
Not me, not at all. Thank you very much.
Pretty big old boy yourself.
You know, he was so fucking cool. He was one of those guys you thought you could hang out with, you know?
Oh, God.
All 4 horsemen are back together, baby doll.
Well, you know, Tony, this deal between Ole Anderson and Dusty Rhodes, this isn't a new thing. You know, this has spanned years and years if no one knows about it. So Ole Anderson, my man Dusty Rhodes is about to say a few words. And if you're very smart, like you say you are, you'll listen to it because Dusty means what he says.
Let's go to that tape of Dusty Rhodes.
You know, for 7, 8, 9 years, Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and Ole Anderson done battle throughout this country. It's always been a way with Ole Anderson and Dusty Rhodes to cripple Maine or hurt somebody. The American Dream seems to be something that he don't want to believe in. He's stuck in this redneck attitude about the way the country should be, about what should happen. You know, whether you're black, white, green, yellow, it has never mattered to the American Dream. And he has always went on television and said, I believe one way, he believes the other. He's a bigamist. He's bigger than life. He's a redneck. He has nothing more than Ole Anderson. He laid up in Wisconsin with a broken leg, feeling sorry for himself. Now, once again, he comes, tries to tear my ear off and get into my personal, you understand? Now, when you play the dozens with Dusty Rhodes through the years, you know that something got to happen. He said, Dusty Rhodes, this is me and you. This is the end. All you skeptics in television land, all you people that are interested in watching the comedies on Saturday morning and think it's wrestling, got to get on this right here. This the real deal. This the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. This is my livelihood. This is the way I make my living, day in, day out. And for every skeptic, for every lawyer that think he's a halfway fan, there are 20 million people daily that love professional wrestling, that love Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, and believe the way I do. You think Ole Anderson 1 minute, I'm going to go and tell this guy over here, this little bitty kid, no matter what color he is, that there's not a real American Dream out there, that you can't reach out in life and be the best you can, and go through this life
like Dusty Rhodes live in on the end of a lightning bolt, nurturing wounds and offering up my innocence. And every time I do what you do, you pay me back in scorn. Well, the fans say, come in, Dream. I'll give you shelter from the storm. That's what it's all about, Ole. If it's me and you, if this is the end, if it's all over, if it's no mas, no more, then let's go for it. Let's go for it. Leave no stone unturned. Leave no rock not thrown and no glass broken. If this the end, I'm glad it's me and you. Ain't that the way it should be, Hoss? You got it, Jack.
Well, I have chill bumps. But I'll tell you this, I can't wait until me and you get together in Chicago and I can offer up my innocence.
And I know you'll pay me back in scorn.
When he said he's a bigamist, I was like, he's married to multiple people. I don't think that's what that means.
It didn't matter.
It didn't matter at all. It was tremendous.
It was Dusty Rhodes speak. It was. And look at this. Look at this turd in the ring, Todd Champion.
You're not a big fan of Mr. Champion?
No. I'm going to, if you can remember, I don't know what direction you and Arn are going in now. I know you're talking about
Arn's already shit all over him. Go ahead.
Okay. So
I want to hear your take.
He's told you the story about Todd. Right now, Todd was blown up. Okay. He had no cardiovascular, nothing. And he just wasn't good. He was okay guy. I had no problems with him, but he was just, and Arn tells the story as he told us on his podcast about the night
his family was in the crowd.
Yeah, they had more than that. They had his dad's workers, co-workers and everything. And Todd the night before had hit Arn like really hard. And Arn said the receipt was, and he said, we told Chip, the firebreaker.
Yeah.
Arn called him the windbreaker, Chip.
Yes.
He said, do not tag out.
Yes.
Because he's not coming in. So they wrestled the whole match, and Todd Champion did not get in.
And his family's in the crowd wanting to see him wrestle.
Right.
So of course they didn't tag him in.
They didn't tag him in.
Yeah.
And he was really upset and crying in the back. And Arn said, well, there you go. Now you know next time how to throw a working punch. Just tremendous story, buddy. But Arn tells it obviously a lot better than I do. And back to the Waylon Jennings thing. I want to add something to this.
Please do. I love Waylon. I just got a newfound appreciation for him. I'm going to say like in the last, 7 years.
Yeah.
Now, like even yesterday, we were at my parents and Dad said, man, I can't think of anything good for us to play because we're out in their backyard or whatever. So I said, well, here, hand me your phone. Cause he's like controlling songs to there. And I put on Waylon Jennings radio and he's like, oh yeah, this right here.
Good stuff, man. The song Amanda is one of my favorite country songs. Anyway, so I hit Waylon with a couple of things. We're talking about gigantic crowds. Well, they're giving Todd a little bit of shit here. We're talking gigantic crowds, and I mentioned the Gator Bowl and Memphis, the Liberty Bowl. And I mentioned those in the interview because those were the two places he performed for us.
Right.
And as ironic as it may be, when we're sitting there talking about gigantic crowds, no one came to either one of those events.
Yes.
Empty. Gator Bowl, never will forget. The storm came up, and he played about 15 minutes. Now he's pissed off because there's nobody in the stands. The storm comes up, and he says, and I remember standing outside when he said this. Oh, let's go to this first.
Jay Dillon. You know, this thing with Ronnie Garvin is all coming into place in the proper perspective. You know, I don't know if anybody sitting out there ever has been knocked out, but I have in my career. I've been knocked out a few times, and it's a pretty sickening feeling because the blood pressure drops so low. When you pass out, you don't dream, you don't do anything. And when you come back around, it's a harrowing feeling. And for 6 months, I've watched Ronnie Garvin knock people out here on national television, and knowing that the same individual is challenging the national champion put a little bit of fear into me.
But now you see the entire situation has reversed because the 23rd of May in Norfolk, Virginia, Ronnie Garvin was knocked out for the first time in his career.
Carried out, too.
And he was carried out where he was looking up at the lights of the ceiling trying to wonder where he was. So now, Ronnie Garvin, you load up your tape. You issue your challenges. You come to the Great American Bash and you challenge the national champion. But in the back of your mind, Mr. Garvin, think back of that sickening feeling. Norfolk, Virginia, when you were knocked colder than a wedge. And think of that harrowing feeling when the blood pressure started to rise and you were going out on that stretcher and realize where you were and realize what happened and come to the realization that this man did it and he can do it again and he is going to do it.
You know, Tony, JJ, all you people out there, I come out here every week with the National Heavyweight Championship belt, and everybody thinks or seems to think that it was handed to me on a silver platter. Now you think back on national television, the start of the demise of the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. When I pinned him 1, 2, 3, right in the middle of the ring and won the National Heavyweight Championship. And now Dusty Rhodes don't ever want to get back in the ring, especially now that the fourth horseman is back. Dusty Rhodes, you better run in groups, great big groups, Dusty Rhodes, to protect yourself. You get Garvin, you get Magnum, you get all those risky business boys, and you keep them all right around you real close. Because Dusty Rhodes, just like Ole said, the four horsemen are back, and you're going down. Now, Garvin, one other thing, just a minute. One other thing, Garvin don't like to talk about this. Garvin doesn't like to talk about Norfolk, Virginia on May the 23rd. Maybe, JJ, if he doesn't talk about it, it never happened.
But he said, I quit.
Huh. That's it.
Fans, we're coming right back.
So real quick, tell us your Whalen finish.
Oh, Whalen, the storm came up and he was pissed off nobody was there. And he said, I remember him strumming his guitar. He said, well, storm's coming up. Looks like we'll have to cut it short here. Thanks for coming. And that was it.
Okay.
He walked.
Yay. No, it was back Thanksgiving of last year when I alone walked inside a steel cage with Tully Blanchard, our quit match. They said it was the most brutal match in the history of professional wrestling. Yet when the match was over and the smoke cleared, when the battle was over, I walked out with this firmly in my grasp. And since that time, day in and day out, I've met every challenge that anybody has ever wanted to present to me. The list goes long and tough, the big and bad of them all. But then out of the darkness came the Russian Nightmare. The man they all called the Bad Nightmare from the Big Bad Russia. They said he could do what no other man could do. He could embarrass the whole United States. But he couldn't get it done in the wrestling ring. He couldn't get it done with all the special stipulations, Russian chain matches. He had to stoop to the lowest form of any human being on this earth. He stooped down so low as to insult all the women in the world, and more specifically, my mother. Well, America was built on freedom. Men that would fight for that freedom and did it real proudly. But none of those men would have been able to do any of that without a very special lady in all their lives. The person that gave them all life. Their mother who gave them the desire to fight and instilled that down inside them. Well, I tell you something, Nikita Koloff, this is straight out there to Bob Geigle too. This belt is nothing but a bunch of metal and leather without the meaning behind it. You can take this out of my hands, but you can't take what's in my heart. You can't take the love for my family and my mother that I die fighting for, no matter what it takes. A best out of 7 tournament, it doesn't matter what they want to dictate to me, because I dictate my life. I dictate my actions. And whatever kind of fight it's got to be, that's just fine, because I'll bow to no man, especially a no good commie Russian.
Let's go to the ring.
Well, we talk about it every week. Oh my God, look at Shaska. This show is so loaded. This is one of the best hours of wrestling I've ever seen.
It's tremendous.
Anyway, I love Magnum's promos, and I can't help but remember our old great close personal friend George Costanza. You a big fan of George?
Yeah, oh yeah.
What I loved about George, well, there's a lot to love about George, unless he's been in the pool. But the point is, the line, it's not a lie if I believe it. And by God, Magnum believed it.
Oh man, you damn right he did.
Comes right through.
Comes right through. Absolutely comes right through. Magnum always used to tell me, I've said it before, and I even tell the kids this when they're doing promos. So Magnum always says, you look in the camera and you look through the camera, you look right into their living room and you talk to them.
Yeah.
And that's what he was good about. So anyway, Waylon took off. Everybody was pissed. And of course he had the excuse of the thunderstorm coming, and it did come up. It was, but thunderstorms were different back then than they are now.
How so?
Well, now thunderstorm comes up and it'll blow you away, and everybody will have to run for shelter because the lawyers tell you to. But
that's a pussy statement. But continue.
No, I know the people that. Hey, in the SEC football,
yeah,
if a lightning strikes within 5 miles of the stadium, the teams have to leave, and the fans are told to leave the stadium for 20 to 30 minutes. Who do you think came up with that?
Lois.
A lawyer did.
Lois.
No, they came up with that because they don't care about your safety. People don't. They don't want to get sued.
Why are you shitting on Dawkins personally today?
No, I'm not.
Oh, I guess you saw him this past weekend.
Yeah, I did. He was in a great mood.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So there was something else I wanted to talk about too, man.
Waylon. There was a storm, and back then, storms were different.
Yeah, but there was something. It was beyond Waylon. I don't know what it was. Oh, I know what it was. Okay. This is pretty interesting stuff. And this has to do with Stadium Stampede. I was there, of course, when they were taping part of it. And Tully Blanchard showed me a picture of him at the Bunkhouse Stampede.
And he's dressed identically.
Yes. Not only that, and he said, look at this. And he showed me the boots, same boots, right?
Wow.
He said, you know what that is? I said, what? He said, it's Dusty's blood still on my boots.
How great is that?
That is tremendous.
Somewhere David Brush just DM'd Tully Blanchard to try to buy those boots. Can I have your Bunkhouse Stampede boots with Dusty's blood?
Yeah. Just
hey, by the way, I know we don't talk about him all the time, but I do have a buddy named David who lives in Virginia.
Yeah.
That nothing happening son of a plumber just got Dusty's old hat. Remember
really
that outfit where he'd have a robe and a hat that matched?
Mm-hmm.
He had like this bright color when they had like a cactus on it or something. And he got the damn hat. And I'm like, damn it, that's something would have been cool to have and easy to display. But
yeah, so
everything else, Jim Crockett, stupid ass David gets it.
Do you know where stupid ass David lives?
Yeah.
Let's go see him.
Oh no, he's a nice guy. We're not ding dong King Kong.
No, we'll beat the fuck out of him. And
no. I like him.
And throw like a bunch of hundreds his way.
He don't care
as we leave. Say, there you go.
He's made of money. He's the collector who's known as the real $1 million man.
Well, then he'd probably an ass kicking probably would be in order.
He's got an empire of businesses up there. He's a titan of industry
in Virginia. What does he do? Smoke Smithfield hams?
He's a nice guy.
Raise apples in Winchester. Plant peanuts in the middle of the state.
Did you plant any peanuts this past weekend down at the beach?
No, I did not.
Really? Thought maybe a little celebratory planting.
Yeah. Planting peanuts. Here's our new line. We're planting peanuts.
Let's not forget Tony Schiavone's famous line. And I can't believe I've never shared this on the air.
Oh my God.
But I'll never forget. And it's going to take you a while at home to figure this out. Do that country math of 2 + 2. But Tony's famous line is, I'll never hit bottom, but I'll fuck up the sides. And it took me a while. And then one day I was riding home and it was like, ding. Oh, I got it. Okay.
Stop.
Oh man, we've got a melee in the ring now.
Yeah.
Things are breaking down.
He's going to cut the hair of Shotska. Jimmy Byatt. It's cutting Shotska's hair.
He's got his hair.
Ronnie Garvin out with the bull. And Jimmy Byatt. Yeah. we're coming right back.
So hey, they went after Shaska with the scissors.
That's so fucking dangerous. That is so fucking dangerous.
These guys carry razors in their lips.
Yeah, but still, I mean, you got an Indian strap match.
As a man got on TV, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, and he wanted to take a piece of leather and beat on me. You know, I'm minding my own business. The man has come here. He's lied to the people. He's told them that he paid my way here. Well, I'm going to tell you something. Jimmy Garvin, you got to come to me now. I don't like you. I don't like Precious. I don't like what you stand for. And right here, you know, he had to get Steve Regal to get in there and help him because he couldn't get the job done himself. Now, I've got my strap, 8-foot piece of rawhide. And I'm going to tell you one thing, Jimmy Garvin. I'm not going to stand here and lie and say I don't have the advantage because I do. And I'm just going to tell you one thing. When I get in that ring and I tie that 8-foot piece of rawhide around you, right here, you can see him hit me. And I'll tell you one thing. He didn't kill me, but it hurt. But when I get this strap around your wrist and I take, the only way you can win this match is to drag an opponent around the ring, touching all 4 posts. And can you imagine how bad that the man has got to be hurt to be drug around and touched all 4 posts? And I'm just going to tell you one thing, Precious. Stick your nose in there, and I'm going to waffle you right across the head. And Jimmy Garvin is in for you, and you can count on it.
Okay, gorgeous Jimmy Garvin along with Steve Regal slapping Wahoo McDaniel with that strap, and he's opened up a whole new can of work. Wahoo's in the ring. Let's go there.
I'm gonna waffle you
right upside your head.
Right upside your head.
And he opened up a whole new can of worms. Nice cliche by me at the end. So now we know basically that Jimmy Garvin and Wahoo will go around at the bashes in the Indian strap matches.
How about
Native American strap matches?
Everybody has a crutch, right? When they're talking, and
yeah, you know, Rebels crutch is clutch. Go ahead.
Planting them peanuts. Anyway, Wahoo right there. I'll tell you one thing.
Oh yeah, I know.
Like that, there's such a, I don't know. It's just fun for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's fun to go back and observe it now years later.
And I love Shaska, his version of "and another thing."
I hope they come out and do a promo in this show. And
we've got to hear from Shaska.
Yeah, after he got his haircut, sucker.
Shaska, I'll riot.
Yeah, you might have to riot because I'm kind of scrolling through here. I don't see it.
I don't see it either. So we might be rioting.
Yeah, so
of all the places I could riot, your house would be number 1. Did you know that?
Yes, sir, man. My house is the best shape it's ever been.
No, but I would like to change that because
Really?
I want my fucking tag strap. You
Really?
know, I've let this go on too long.
Well, then, you know, get in that fucking airplane, or you know, you don't fly anymore. Get in your fucking $100,000 car.
100,000? Don't you fucking low rate me?
Okay, sorry, $150,000 car, and drive out to San Diego at a Petco Field and get the fucker. Okay, I've tried. First of all, the way I've tried to get in touch with Bo Ringer. I've tried, no avail, and I was going to say, Brian, I gave you that 6-man strap, and I understand it is in the Petco Park. I might see if Excalibur can get it for us because he goes to Petco Park.
What's he gonna do? Just break the fucking glass and run?
Yes, no, but no. I said, let's talk to the Padres. They don't need that belt there. Let's get it back. I gave it to you. Why did you give it to them? And then we'll get it and we'll present it to you. So you will shut the fuck up.
I would love to shut the fuck up, but I'm tired of being lied to, Tony. I'm lied to. I'm strung along. I'm treated less than. You treat me like I'm something you stepped in.
No, I don't.
You're climbed to the top. Just because you're the voice of a generation again doesn't mean that you don't have to live up to your obligations. And I'm going to fucking take you to child custody court.
Okay.
We're going to get a fucking divorce.
Yeah.
We're going to have to split the kids. I want Matt and Chris Schiavone. You can have Lori and the Jobber. And you know, we're going to settle this thing because me and Matt and Chris, we're the real 6-man champions of this Schiavone family.
Yeah.
As the oldest, I speak for all of us.
Yeah. So do you know what I'm taking? I'm taking the rights to Rebel's show on ad-free shows.
Oh, that's fine.
So I get Rebel.
Wait a minute now. Hang on.
And the world is okay again.
Well, I get Bug.
Okay, you can have Rebel. Don't fuck with my dog.
I wonder. Let's keep.
Oh, okay.
You know something? First of all, I saw Baby Doll out here a little earlier in her Calamity Jane outfit, okay?
Oh.
She looks the part of a real Texas cowgirl. You know the kind, more cow than girl.
Oh.
And I also understand that the James boys are going to be somewhere around here today. Well, hey, Dusty and Magnum, let me tell you something. You just come on out here, try to jump me from behind, because you see who's standing behind me. Big Bubba Rogers, big as a house with a 3-car garage, and that's what it would feel like fell on you if you tried to lay one finger on me or do me any harm in any way, because he's taking real good care of me, Tony. You wouldn't believe how big his man is. You wouldn't believe the things he is great. And ladies and gentlemen, I will introduce someone else who's great. The highlight of your day, the greatest team in professional wrestling, Loverboy Dennis and beautiful Bobby, the Midnight Express.
No, sometimes it's very rare, but I don't know. That was not Jim Cornette's best promo. And normally it feels like he's been on such a roll where they top each other every single week.
Yeah. That was kind of his, that was kind of his entrance promo. You know, he would
Maybe
come out and do a
not
promo.
done. There you go.
Loved. Bobby makes me smile. Makes me smile.
How so?
Just because he, you know, and I know you know him too. Just a good guy.
Oh, great guy.
And such a great performer. And he had fun out there. He always had fun. And even in house shows, he had fun. He just, he was a great performer. He never took himself seriously. And I just love Bobby Eaton. Just one of the best. Hey, really excited about, for our low-key big hogs.
Sure.
And I guess through top guys on ad-free shows.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Going to Chicago.
It's going to be big time.
Big time. Part of the all-out weekend.
Yeah, no star cast, but this is the next best thing. So those of you who've been with us as top contributors on Patreon are going to have quite the time. We've got commitments from Jim Ross and Arn Anderson and Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff and Jeff Jarrett. And you got to assume there's going to be a surprise or two. So
I think there is. Yeah. I'd like to get, and you and I need to work on this off camera here. I'd like to get a surprise or two from this era, 86.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think that would be, that would kind of be in our wheelhouse, so to speak. So I'd like that happen.
And another thing.
Can't get him.
I wish so badly that we could spend one weekend hanging out with Shaska.
I know.
Can you imagine how much fun we would have had with him?
Oh. And no one could work an elbow drop like Bobby.
Would have been tremendous.
Hey, how about the Young Bucks match? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see Nick Jackson doing a Macho Man?
Yes.
Oh, God. I saw it and I wanted to react to it, but Don Callis and his bullshit and all of them, they were talking. And by the time I could get a word in, it was all gone. But I went and told Nick, I said, that was a Macho Man you were doing, right? He said, oh, yeah. I said, you fuck. I have so much fun with those guys, man. God, I really, really do. I remember you're the first one that ever told me about the Young Bucks. You know that?
Yeah.
I'd never heard of them. And obviously that's because I'd been away from wrestling and just didn't, follow the scene. And you told me about the Meltzer driver. And I went, what? They're naming a move after Dave Meltzer? What the fuck? And then I met him and I'm thinking, man, these are two of the greatest guys ever. I just absolutely love them. And they don't disappoint, man. They always give you their best effort out there.
Yeah.
They always do.
They're a big reason or big part of the reason that AEW even exists,
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I'm having a lot of fun with Don Callis too, or Don Calais, as I first called him.
You should keep going with that, Calais.
Yeah. I should call him that on the air.
I'll be honest. You said it with such, conviction.
Uh-huh.
But the first time you said it, I thought, fuck, have I been pronouncing it wrong this whole time? I mean, that's how you know you're in the presence of a professional broadcaster.
Oh, shit.
I'm being sincere, because
Yeah.
when you said it, I was like, man, for like 20 years, I've been calling him Don Callis.
Yeah.
What if I did it wrong? Fuck. I think I even called him Mr. Callis to his face, and his name's Calais. I'm so embarrassed.
I have a lot of fun with him. I think he's a hell of an announcer. I think he'd be a great color guy. He just knows, you know, and I know he's done plenty of it.
Hey, you should share that. Go when we hang up, call Taz and just repeat everything you just said. Just say it just in a loud, clear voice to him.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
Yeah, you should have been there for the reaction when Mark Henry was in the building.
Oh my God. Oh God, I cannot wait.
You go do what? That's what I've been told, Pete. That's what I've been told. God damn it. I mean, he is like, oh man, he's the gift that keeps on giving.
I love
him. I do too. He's a gift that keeps on giving. I mean, when we're all back in the announcer room, it's me and Justin Roberts and Excalibur.
He's Taz Costanza. It was in front of us the whole time.
Absolutely.
Taz Costanza.
Mm-hmm.
He might even be Jerry's dad, though. I could see him yelling, "Serenity now!" God, I just love Taz.
Yeah. His son, who is a wonderful kid. He's so wonderful. Such a nice, polite young man.
You wonder, how is he related to Taz?
Exactly. He came in, and he always comes in, and Tad's sitting there in his corner, and he starts talking. I get up, and I give him a chair. And he said, "What's that for?" I said, "Because you know your dad better than me. You're not going to be able to talk to him for like 2 minutes. It's going to be a 10-minute conversation." I said, "You better sit down." And Taz said, "Get the fuck out of here," or something like that. I come back 20 minutes later. He's standing there talking to his dad.
Yeah.
I said, "Told you." And you don't talk to him. It's a monologue, which is, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
This is what the world has been waiting for. The Rock and Roll Express Super Summer Sizzler Tour 86, August 4th through the 10th, with these two men, Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. Now, in conjunction with this gigantic tour of wrestling, we have 3 gigantic contests for you, the fans, to be a part of. Contest number 1 is our Rock and Roll Express Lookalike Contest.
Uh-oh.
There is the address. Let us tell you about this contest. It is open to boys and girls ages 5 to 13 years old. Now, you must send a picture. Your name, your address, your birth date, your zip code, your telephone number, your pictures must include entrance and be no larger than 4 inches by 5 inches. We must have a picture of 2 of you dressed up like the Rock and Roll Express. A person cannot be a member of more than 1 entry. In other words, if you pose with one person, you can't turn around, enter again, and pose with another person. Dress up like the Rock and Roll Express. The Rock and Roll Express Lookalike Contest, all entries must be postmarked no later than July 15th, 1986. You see the address right there. Write to us, and if you are selected as the lookalikes for the Rock and Roll Express, you'll win an all-expense-paid trip to Atlanta, Georgia, to spend the day with these two men at Six Flags Over Georgia theme park. That's contest number 1. Contest number 2 is our Miss Rock and Roll Express contest. You see the address right there, PO 11390, Charlotte 28220. This contest open to all girls ages 14 to 17 years old.
Was this contest in Memphis?
Name, your address, zip code, and phone number, and your birth date, and a picture of yourself. And the picture must be
hindsight. Y'all asking for the Miss Rock and Roll contest and asking that it be 8th graders. What the fuck, dude?
Well, that was the Rock and Roll Express's demo.
I don't know, dude. I don't know about naming it.
How about this one? How about this one?
We will have 6 ladies picked. 5 will be the court. 1 will be Miss Rock and Roll Express. All 6 and
I'm aroused.
Lions will go on tour with these two men to the Rock and Roll Express Super Summer Sizzler Tour 86. But Miss Rock and Roll Express will be able to escort these two gentlemen to the ring during the tour. Also have dinner with Robert Gibson and Ricky Morton. So make sure you get those entries in. One more contest, and you saw a bit of a
how many of y'all gonna do?
contest. P.O. Box 11390 in Charlotte.
Dream date.
Open open to ladies 18 years of age and older for this
They-
Rock and Roll Express Dream Date.
They brought that in too soon.
Address, zip code, phone number, and birthday pictures. We want pictures. Must be no larger than 4 inches by 5 inches for the Dream Date contest. Another part of this, the entries must include a 1-page or 500-word composition entitled "Why I Would Love to Go on a Dream Date with the Rock and Roll Express."
Some great TV right here.
A 1-page essay.
Entries must be postmarked no later than July 15th of 1986. Now, during the Dream Day contest, we will select 2 ladies, 18 years of age or older, who will go on an all-expense Dream Date to New York City with the Rock and Roll Express, all part of the Super Summer Sizzler Tour. That's some exciting news, gentlemen.
That's right, Tony. We're looking forward to that. But, we're looking forward to the Great American Bash 86 coming up. And, brother, let me tell you, the tour is going to be hot. Woo!
Okay.
By the way, notice they were wearing airbrush T-shirts, not merch shirts that you guys were selling for them, which is just crazy. When you think
It is crazy. So the Dream Date happened. They went to see Bill Apter helped set it up. The Dream Date, they flew him to New York, and they went to see the show Cats on Broadway, and then ate at a restaurant. And
a restaurant.
a restaurant. I remember Ricky Morton saying, "I said, how was the date?" He said the show was terrible. He said, "I fell asleep during Cats." I said, "Oh, okay." So, and then of course, then we had the the entourage of young ladies, as you'd say, 8th graders, who came with their moms.
What the fuck, man?
They came with their moms, and we had a tour bus, and it was me, Doug Dillinger, and Ricky and Robert, and all the girls and their moms. 1 or 2 may have had a dad with them. I'm not sure, but they had a parent with them. I think it was mostly their moms. And also on the tour bus was Jimmy Valiant, so he could save on trans. Just Jimmy. And I'm telling you, those days I went to every show. As a matter of fact, I'm the one that chose the girls. I went to every show and had a blast, had an absolute blast. The girls were so sweet and so appreciative, and their parents were so nice. I'm telling you, it was very, very well done.
Can we agree in hindsight? You guys should not have done a Miss Rock and Roll contest with underage women or girls.
Okay.
I don't know. It just seemed weird. And maybe it's because maybe it's because I watched that Dark Side of the Ring, and I'm like, oh God, can we keep underage kids away from wrestling, please?
Well, it's maybe because your mind always goes to the gutter first. That could be it as well.
Wait a minute now.
Always.
Hang on.
Always.
They have been doing promos back and forth with Flair pulling out little teeny tiny bras.
Mm-hmm.
What am I supposed to be thinking?
Okay. I don't. Did you see Ronnie throw a drop kick just now?
I did. I didn't know if that was like my mind playing tricks on me.
What the hell, man? Huh. What the hell?
By the way, we've reshuffled Arn, and Arn is now just telling old territory stories, and we're going step by step through his career.
Yeah.
And somehow we wound up talking about tanning, and I asked, "Hey, when did the tanning beds become a thing? Who was the first wrestler you remember having a tanning bed? And when did just tan in a can become the deal?" And he said, I can tell that you're sort of making fun of the tans, but the reality is, if you're in good shape and you're tan, it's going to be hard to beat. And Ron Garvin is a great example of that.
Oh,
I was like, wow, okay.
Paul Jones, he built his army against a lot of things, but he left one thing. His strategy faltered, Daddy, and we took advantage of it. That's what a good general does, and that's exactly what the Bulls after. And when we did, we seized the opportunity, and these little bitty things did the job. And Pistol Pez Wale, Barbarian, and everybody else involved in cutting my man's hair, you're going to find out that a lot of more people are going to get sheared, and that means sheep sheared, baby, because I ain't no beautician. When I cut somebody's hair, it's coming off any way I know how, and that's a promise. Ain't that right, Boog?
Tony, you see this wall? This wall that came off Pistol Pez Wale's noggin?
Yes, sir.
That's nothing, Daddy. That's nothing. I told you we're serious. I told you we're coming for your hair. And before the bash is over, or even before it begins, not only you, Pistol Pants Wadley, but you, Paul Jones, you both will be completely bald. You're both going to be bald-headed geeks. And Bear Von Raschke, the golden glove, the loaded golden black glove. I'm going to climb that tall pole, and I'm going to bring it down, and I'm going to beat your brains out, and that's a promise. All right, Willie.
Okay, back with more right after this.
That's 2 promos from Raging Bull, not
Yeah.
one mention of San Antonio. Has he forgotten about us? What the fuck?
I don't know. I thought that's why he's coming back out, because they reminded him to say that.
Yeah.
Championship Wrestling. Like we said, we have had excitement plenty today.
And it continues as we're joined here by the James boys, Frank and Jesse James, along with Baby Doll.
You know, there's so much going on out here today. It's unbelievable. There's some people sitting out here with great little jewels coming out of their mouth. They're so intelligent, unreal. Me and Jess been riding the range, acting strange, looking for the Midnight Express. Somewhere the Midnight Express is going to find out that Frank and Jesse James, along with Baby Doll, going to take care of it. You know what? Jim Cornette, Big Bubba, look like something left over from the movie The Godfather. You understand? He's trying to skip. That ain't gonna happen. Jim Cornette, I want your mama to know something. I want you to tell her that me and Jess are planning a big Christmas surprise. When she get up in the morning this year on Christmas, the James boys gonna come down the chimney and scare out of a fox right there. And the Midnight Express, we gonna beat you as long and hard as we have to until you understand you should have signed that contract with Magnum T.A. and Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream.
Just,
you know, it seems that the man has found a new lease on life since Big Bubba's come into his life again. And I want to remind him of one thing. You can only stay so close to that man for a very short period of time. I'm sure maybe you'd like to stay with him close for a long, long time.
The James boys and Baby Doll. Words of warning to the Midnight Express. Let's go to the ring.
Just think of Dusty's promo.
You know, I get this a lot. How did you keep a straight face?
Right.
I don't know how I kept a straight face when he said, I'm going to come down your chimney and scare you to death. That's a line that only Dusty Rhodes can deliver. I know your mind's in the gutter now.
No, what does that mean?
It always is. If I would go to my gutters and open up the gutter helmet, you know, or the leaf guard.
What are you talking
there?
about?
You'd be in there. Oh, gutter.
Why are you being like that?
Maybe I shouldn't. Sorry. I apologize.
What did I do wrong?
You didn't do anything wrong. You never do anything wrong. You're just being Conrad. And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. I mean, that's how you are. I get it. I get it. By the way, for those of you low-key big hogs who want to join us in Chicago, go to the Patreon page /WHW Monday, and you will find out all you need to know.
All the deets.
All the details. And there is a Hall of Famer taking the gear. Isn't that an amazing story?
Isn't it? I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame before anybody else in the ring right now.
Yes. Absolutely.
Where you at on old Mr. Electricity?
I think we've established that he is middle of the road at best, but I've always thought he was a good worker. He could do a lot of things. But again, he and Garvin were big stars in the AWA at one time, tag team, and that's why he's got them together here. But he didn't make an impact like Jimmy Garvin did.
Right.
Jimmy had a great rap. He had a great presence with Precious. Whoa, watch out. See, there you go.
Get a little sugar.
Get a little sugar during the match. She's always got the air freshener around. So it was a pretty good package. And then Steve here was a good worker, good athlete. He didn't have the best interview in the world, but I thought he had a pretty good look. I like the blonde hair and the brown beard.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's my take on that.
I'm glad to hear it.
Mm-hmm.
We're home stretching it, Tony.
Yeah.
We teased last week that we thought we were going to have some big stuff coming. Of course, we've just made the big announcement about Chicago.
Right.
But we're not done sort of doubling down on nostalgia for 1986. You and I have a big conference call this week. Are you excited?
Yes, I am.
I think we're going to have some fun.
Love conference calls. What the hell are you talking about?
You know, we're going to have somebody occasionally.
Oh, yes. Okay, got it. I didn't know that conference call was coming up this week, but good.
Well, I tried to do it last week and you no sold it and it just didn't respond.
Yeah.
So I thought, you know what? Let's try it again.
Well, you know, as you and I are recording this, Lois and I are getting ready to hit the road, but you can do a conference call anywhere.
I mean, where you're going, do they have phones?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Good.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wasn't sure.
But it's a busy AEW weekend for me. So just telling you that I may be tied up. Never know. It's like I said this, and Bruce
Let me
Pritchard.
just mention real quick. You can fuck off at any time.
Okay, I'm not going to fuck off.
Okay.
Okay, you know how Bruce is on call for Vince 24/7.
Yeah, you're like that for Tony now.
Yeah, but in a good way.
Have the people backstage started to figure out that you're a nothing happening stooge? I know that Taz has, but like, has JR caught up?
I'm not a nothing happening stooge. Remember, it's better to be a man of value than a man of success. I'm a man of value.
What am I?
A man of success.
Well, okay, so why am I not as good as you?
No, you're different.
How am I different?
You're a man of success, and you're a man of value to all of us.
Wait, a minute ago I wasn't.
Who are on your network?
A minute ago I wasn't a man of value.
Okay.
Now I am.
Yeah.
Just don't understand, what am I doing wrong here? How do I get some value? How do I get some respect on my name around this place?
Okay. I don't know.
Can I get some respect on my name? Will you put some respect on my name? Tony, will you do it? Will you?
Yes, I'll put some respect on your name.
Thank you.
Yes. You're the greatest podcaster I've ever worked with.
Well, I'm the only one, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh no, I guess Aubrey Edwards and
Aubrey. Yeah. Yeah. And Aubrey's a buddy.
Who'd she ever beat? I got that.
Yeah. Okay. We did a podcast during the Fan Fest where we talked to -1 and Abaddon.
How's he doing? How's old -1 doing?
He's great, man.
Good.
He's great.
I'm glad to hear it. I like him.
Yeah, good kid. He's going to be, he's born to be a professional wrestler. In another 8 years or so, he's going to be of age. And he's going to be hard to stop. All right, there you go. Russian leg sweep. Let's see it again. Make sure you're looking at the camera. Oh, yeah, baby.
And here we go. What do you think he's saying?
Well, I got here a newspaper. That's exactly right. Not the newspaper you put in the bottom of your bird cage or a newspaper you lay down for the dogs at the door to make sure they're house trained. This is the Charlotte Observer. And here's wait a minute. No, it's not. It's the USA Today. And as you probably know, in 2021, the USA Today is no longer a newspaper. It's a fucking rag. So I got a rag here in my hand. I'm going to look and see. Oh, guess what? Even here in 1986, there's no news in here. None. Absolutely. Well, there's a little bit more news than 2021 because thanks to the internet and electronics, the newspaper is kind of like the magazine and really kind of like radio. It's going bye-bye. But they're telling me here that I've got to take an Indian strap match. I'm going to take a beating with an Indian strap from Wahoo McDaniel. Well, what the hell did I get myself into? What the hell? Why did I come here anyway? And it also says, yes, this was done by the staff of USA Today. So basically, It's a bunch of rag reporters. Here's the fact. I don't care what rag reporters tell me I got to do. If I'm going to take an Indian strap match, I'm going to get a bigger payoff than I thought. I'm looking at my contract right now, and it's shit. I'm not going to get a bigger payoff. That's okay. I'm going to at least have my wife with me. Oh, hell. Well, anyway, it's going to be a great American Bash. And regardless of this guy to my left, which I hope he doesn't talk, I'm going to take this contract. I'm going to go see Jim Crockett, and I'm going to see if I can get at least a little bit more trans for taking in his strap match, because we all know that Wahoo McDaniel, once the bell sounds and once he gets that strap in his hand, he thinks it's fucking real. It's not. It's a work. So when you strap me, don't strap me hard. We're done, fans.
You gotta get excited about saving people all those dollars. They can limousine ride and jet fly now with that extra cash.
And they can style and profile with a quick 10-minute phone call right now to 425-0105.
That's 425-0105. Woo!
SaveWithConrad.com. When you strap me, don't strap me hard. Famous last words.
Yeah,
We'll be back next week with a little more 1986. And by the way, if you haven't already, don't forget to join us over at WHW Monday on Patreon. We did not one, but two special bonus shows just in time for the end of May. And you can go enjoy that bonus content. And of course, all of our shows early and ad free. You can check that out at patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com. And if you haven't already, you've missed your opportunity to become a top guy or a low-key big hog and make plans to join us in Chicago. But there's nothing that says you can't be ready next year. This is going to exceed all expectations. I'm fired up about it, and I'm looking forward to next week, Tony. But right now, it looks like it's about that time.
It is about that time. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Gutter Championship of the World, and here it comes to the ring is the challenger, Conrad Thompson. He's making his way to the ring, and now here's the music, and here comes the Gutter Champ. That's also Conrad Thompson. It's Conrad Thompson against Conrad Thompson, and the winner is in the gutter. We'll see you next week on What Happened When. We come to you each and every week on Cumulus, but on Mondays, we come to you on
Patreon, patreon.com/WHW Monday. And of course, adfreeshows.com.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.